Good Monday morning, February 27th here in southern Ontario, Canada. Hope that phone didn't flip around. Now, this subject matter with Poilievre's comment regarding Christian Anderson, where in a nutshell he said she's vile, hateful, racist, and a right-wing extremist. Now, the only place I can find that is sourced from is Brian Lilly, political columnist from the Toronto Sun newspaper, which is right-wing, not to be mixed up with the Toronto Star, which is firmly in the regime of Trudeau's propaganda department. Now, everyone's accepting that Poilievre said this statement. I'm not so sure. I can't confirm it. The Celtic Canuck did a video this morning, and I asked her in the comments, how did you confirm this statement, that he made this statement? I've yet to hear back from her. I don't know. I'm dubious. The whole thing's very suspect. A lot of senses. But now let's look at Christine Anderson, the European EU parliamentary member who just toured Canada, who this alleged statement of Poilievre's is regarding. I guess I should have started there, but I think everybody knows what the subject is anyways. Now, she'd be well briefed on all the key figures in Canadian politics for her own interest, if nothing else, long before she came here on this tour. I mean, she's been a champion of the Canadian truckers' freedom movement, the convoy, if you want to call it that, whatever, what happened in Ottawa. I mean, she's been a lead figure, perhaps the lead figure on a global level in bringing this subject matter to the world view. I mean, you know, we saw the world awareness of what was happening in Canada, in Ottawa, with the freedom movement. And other countries mimicked it. They had truckers' convoys, protests currently, even still in Netherlands. They fly the Canadian flag on their tractors. So, I mean, common sense would dictate. Anderson knew she'd be asked about key political figures in her question and answer periods, I'll say, you know, where she sits down. And I saw one clip where she was asked about Poilievre. But I mean, again, just to stress, she'd have been well versed on the key political players: Poilievre, Bernier, Danielle Smith, the outspoken Albertan provincial premier, etc. And when she was asked about Poilievre, this was before he made, allegedly, this statement. I'm not saying he did or didn't make it. I'm just not absolutely convinced he did. But anyways, I digress. When asked about Poilievre, she said, I've spoken to him a couple of times. He seems like a nice enough fellow. But, as soon as she said but, I thought, right on. And I'm not even really paraphrasing her, my words. She said, but you, the Canadian people, have to look at your leaders and decide for yourselves. Is he consistent in what he says and does? Are there inconsistencies? I mean, do you believe him? Is he consistent? That was basically her reply, the first time anyways. I didn't see her asked about any other politicians. I mean, I didn't follow her every word and movement as she traveled across the country last week. I did see her sit down and have a nice friendly chat with Maxime Bernier, and they both seemed on the same page in their political views, but she must have been questioned about Maxime Bernier and I would assume other politicians. I didn't see her response to that. But it just doesn't add up, and that Poilievre hasn't responded to all this hullabaloo. I mean, it's everywhere you go, everybody's just flipping. How could Poilievre? And in summation, although I'll do another video on it, I've always been suspect of Poilievre. If we look at the 2019 election, literally in the last hour at 11 a.m., the position option closed at noon for the leadership of the PC party. He was a shoo-in, and at 11 o'clock, to everyone's disappointment, he announced, no, I'm not running for the leadership of the Conservative Party. And he did the same thing in the snap election in 2021. Why, I ask you, would he have turned either of those down? He simply could have said, yeah, okay, I'll run for party leader. And then I'm going to come back from vacation in a month from now when I'm leader of Canada, because everybody would have, in either election, been all over Poilievre just to get rid of Trudeau. So that alone, but that's another subject matter. So again, I've asked the Celtic Canuck, whose research and videos I have a deep respect for, if she confirmed this statement, because none of it's adding up. It just doesn't make sense. Why would Poilievre make this statement or anything of that sort, knowing well and full he's like politically shooting himself in the foot? And I mean, I don't know. It's not adding up to me. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you can confirm or deny that, or anything, information to the confirming or denial of Poilievre saying this, or if he comes out and makes a statement, let me know where I can see that, attach a link or whatever. None of it is, it's not making any sense to me. Let me know what you think, please.